Welcome back to Banujwada PU College online classes. In the last session, we had discussed about the migration and suspending activities of the organisms under the concept of responses to abiotic factors. Clear? Now, in this session, we will take up adaptations. Adaptations. What is meant by adaptation? First, we will discuss. Later on, we will discuss examples of the adaptations. First, we can take up here. Adaptation is the physical, physiological, or behavioral characteristic of an organism. It means that it is the character of an organism that may be a morphological character, or may be a physiological character, or may be a behavioral characteristic of an organism that helps. What purpose it is this character is needed for the organism? That helps an organism to survive better in the surrounding environment. Already in the last session we have discussed regulators, conformers, migrators, suspenders. What is the why they are going to be doing those things? Because to adjusting with their surrounding environment. Those also we are considered as one kind of the adaptations. Adaptation is a special character of an organism. This characteristic is helpful for the organism to survive better in their habitat. The surrounding conditions are maybe harsh conditions, or extreme cold or extreme heat is there. Then also the organism, if they have an adaptation, then obviously that organism having an ability to survive in their harsh conditions also. In their harsh conditions containing environment also. One more time I tell you that adaptation is the maybe a physical character, or maybe a physiological character, or maybe a behavioral character of an organism. What purpose it is this character is required for the organism? This character helps an organism to survive better in the surrounding environment. Clear? Right. Now we can see how many types of adaptations are there. We will discuss now. See here, there are three different types of the adaptations are there. Okay, how many types? Three different types. First one is structural or physical, or we can say it as a morphological also. Structure means nothing but as a morphology. You get structural or physical adaptation. What it means actually? It is a feature of an organism. Organism's body. Feature of an organism's body, like color, size, shape. Okay, the organism may be changing their color, the organism may be changing their size, the organism may be changing their shape. These things are related to the body of an organism. The body is going to be changing to survive, to fit in that environment. Such kind of changes we can call it as a physical changes or structural changes. These changes are helpful to survive and reproduce in their habitats. It means that the physical changes we are seen in the organism's body. Physical changes means it may be a color change, or may be a size change, or may be a shape change we are noticing in the organism body. Whatever the physical changes are happening in the takes place in the organism body, those changes are helpful for the organism to survive better in their habitat condition. For the purpose of survival, for the purpose of reproduction. Clear? Now we can see second one, that is the physiological adaptation. What is meant by the physiological adaptation means, we know very well, physiological adaptation means, physiology means we know. Whatever the life processes occurs in our body. For example, in our first year we have discussed human physiology. Human physiology means we are starting from the digestion and until the endocrine system we are discussed clearly. Those are all the things, all the chapters are belonging to the human physiology. Human physiology means the functions of the body. The functions of the body. Here also we can see the body processes. The body process means nothing but a digestion, respiration, or a excretion, or maybe a neural control, or maybe endocrine system, whatever that helps an organism to survive and reproduce. It means that the organism is going to be changing their physiology, according to that environmental changes, so that those changes are helpful for that organism to survive better in their habitat, and also to reproduce better in their habitat. Clear? Right. Now the next one, third one, that is behavioral adaptation. Now we can see behavioral adaptation means responses made by an organism. Those responses are helpful to survive and reproduce. It means that some organisms are changing their behaviors according to the environmental conditions. Those behavioral changes also helpful to the organism to survive better in their habitat conditions. Clear? These are the three types of the adaptations we had seen in animals and as well as to the plants. Right. Now we can see an examples. We can take an examples here. First one, adaptation of animals in desert area. Adaptations of animals in the desert areas. In the desert area, if you see some adaptations, the organisms which are living in the desert areas, those animals are having a special kind of adaptation to survive in the desert condition. What are those? We can see here. In the absence of external source of water. Means outside environment, if you see the water conditions, the water bodies means the water availability is very less than compared to normal areas in desert. So that the kangaroo rat, if you take the kangaroo rat in Northern American deserts, is capable of meeting all its water requirements through its internal fat oxidation. What is the meaning of this one is, actually these kangaroo rat is there in the desert areas. In which desert areas? In Northern American desert areas. They don't have much water in their surroundings. So that what they will do is, when the water content is very less in the surroundings, that time they will oxidize their fat content in their body. So that when the fat oxidation takes place during at that time, as a byproduct, the water is releasing. That water they can use it for their metabolism. Process like as a digestion, respiration, excretion, whatever it is. All the metabolisms are requiring the water. How they will get water? From the surroundings they will not take the water. When the water is not available in the surroundings, they will oxidize their fat content. Due to this oxidation, releasing of as a byproduct water is releasing. That water they can use it for their metabolisms. Clear? This is the one thing. Now we can see some more adaptations in the kangaroo rat only. Kangaroo rat has ability to concentrate its urine. Hypertonic urine formation takes place. In the excretion lesson discussing time, we are discussed about the concentrated urine. They will make the urine concentrated, they have an ability to make the concentrated urine, so that minimal volume of water is used to remove excretory products. minimal amount of water is required for the removal of excretory products. Excretory products. Excretory product is here urea. To remove the urea as a excretory product, the kangaroo rats are requiring only minimum amount of the water. The reason is they will make that urine into a concentrate, more concentrate, so that they require only less amount of the water for that. Okay, to remove the urea. This is also one more adaptation in the kangaroo rat. One adaptation is oxidation of fat to get the water, and second one is to release, to excrete the urea. They are requiring only minimal amount of the water. Okay, these two adaptations we are observing in the kangaroo rat. Okay, this is the very important MCQ for even NEET exam, NEET and CET exam. Clear? Now we can see. Second one, adaptation of plants in desert areas. Here we are seeing adaptation of animals in desert areas. Here we are observing adaptation of plants in desert areas. Clear? Now we can see thick cuticle on the leaf surfaces, thick cuticle on the leaf surfaces of the desert plants reduce the transpiration. Reduce the transpiration. What is the meaning of the thick cuticle actually? For example, if you take up, this is the epidermis of the leaf. For example, this is the epidermis. These are the epidermal cells. Epidermal cells of the plant. Now we can see above these epidermal cells, if you see in the middle of the epidermal cells, stomata is located. Stomata is located. We know very well, we have discussed about this concept in case of the transpiration, plant transportation, as well as we have discussed in the anatomy of flowering plants. Here, if you notice, top of these epidermal cells, one layer is presented. One layer is presented. This is actually thin layer. In most of the plants, it is a thin layer. Whatever the plants are there in the other than desert areas, this layer will be thin. But where the desert plants are having this layer name is called as a cuticle. This cuticle layer is very thick in desert plants. Why it is very thick in the desert plants? The reason is to preventing the evaporation of water. To preventing the evaporation of water. Through this stomata, transpiration takes place, we know. To prevent the transpiration, they require thick walled cuticle. Thick cuticle they need, so that they can prevent the transpiration process. They can prevent the loss of water. Okay, because they are in desert area, if they lose the more amount of water into the surroundings, how they are going to be undergoing their metabolisms? Because in the desert area means availability of water is very less, so that they need to conserve the water in their body. So that's what they are adopted thick walled cuticle development. Okay, one thing. Next one you can see one more adaptation in the desert plants. Stomata is sunken. Stomata is sunken to reduce the transpiration. To reduce the transpiration. What is the meaning of sunken stomata actually? This is epidermis. Normally stomata is located like this. This is normal location only. We are not calling it as a sunken stomata. If you see the epidermis, like this, these are the epidermal cells. In the middle of these epidermal cells, if you see, stomata is there. But here what happens, you can see, the stomata is located in the depression. In the depression means here bending is there. It means that in the lower end of this epidermal cells is going to be, the epidermal layer is going to be bending into the depth. Means it is going to be depressing. In the depression, we have seen this stomata. It means that the temperature is falling directly, the light is falling over on the surface of the body. But here epidermal cells, you can see that here the light is falling more and more. Then what happens? The stomata, on the stomata the light is not falling. more, so that the stomata is in the closed position. The transpiration is automatically going to be preventing. Transpiration automatically is going to be preventing. This is nothing but as a sunken stomata. Sunken stomata means the stomata location is inner side of the epidermis, that is in the lower part of the epidermis than compared to the normal location of stomata. Here normal location of stomata I can see surface of the epidermis only we are observing the stomatas, but here not on the surface, at the bottom of the epidermal cells we are seeing the stomatas. The stomata location is sunken, means it is in the lower side located. Sunken means we are nothing but as a shrinking, okay, like meaning of the shrinking. Sunken means shrinken. Stomata is located here. This is also one of the adaptation for the plant to reduce the transpiration. Clear? Now one more adaptation you can see. Desert plants follow special photosynthetic pathway called crustacean acid metabolism. Crustacean acid metabolism. It is also, we can call it as a CAM pathway. We know C3 pathway, C4 pathway, CAM pathways. We have studied under the photosynthesis lesson. It is the crustacean acid pathway is follows. The reason is in which stomata remains closed during daytime, open during night time. It is an advantage because daytime light is more in the desert area. That is the reason if the light is increases, temperature also automatically going to be rises. When the temperature is rises, transpiration is automatically going to be increases. So that reason, to prevent the transpiration, what they will do is they will open the stomata at night. They will close the stomata at afternoon time, means daytime. Daytime they will close, night time they will open. Normally if you see in the normal plants, stomata will be open daytime, close at night time. But it is completely opposite in case of the crustacean acid metabolism plants. The special plants are undergoing this pathway, which are there in the xeric conditions. The plants which are growing in the xeric conditions, they have this adaptation to prevent the transpiration. Now the next one you can see one more adaptation in the desert plants, that is in some plants like Opuntia. We know very well about the Opuntia, even we are seen in the practicals. Opuntia plants, the leaves are modified. Opuntia leaves are modified into spines. Okay, now we can see, for example, this is the Opuntia stem. Okay, this is the Opuntia stem. So many is there, but I have drawn only two. On the Opuntia stem, you can see leaves are completely reduced into spines like this. Why these leaves are modified into spines? The reason is to prevent the loss of water. The process name is called as a transpiration. To prevent the loss of water, the Opuntia plant leaves are going to be reducing into spines. So that automatically this surface area of the leaf is going to be decreases. Okay, so that transpiration is automatically going to be decreases. Okay, this is the one of the adaptation to reduce the transpiration. And photosynthesis takes place. Here leaves are absent. Leaves are going to be converting into spines. Then how they are going to be exhibiting the photosynthesis? We are getting doubt in our mind. They will exhibit the photosynthesis with the help of the stems. So that the stem name is called as a phylloclade. Phyllocytes are the stems of the Opuntia plants. These phyllocytes are helpful for the photosynthesis. In the Opuntia plants. Right? Clear? Right. Now we can see another example. Adaptation of animals in cold climates. Till now we are discussing adaptation of animals and plants in the hot climates. Now we are discussing in the cold climates. Now we can see here mammals from colder climates. Mammals from the colder climates generally have shorter ears and limbs. To to minimize heat loss. To minimize heat loss. It means that if you see polar bears, polar bears ears if you see and legs also if you see very small. The reason is to prevent the heat loss. If the long legs and as well as long ears are there, the losing of heat also more. They will lose the more heat. Okay, that is the reason their body size is more, but their extremes, that is nothing but as a ears and limbs is small in size to reduce the heat loss. That rule is given by, that is explained by Allen's. So that the rule name is called as a Allen's rule. The rule name is called as a Allen's rule. It's a very important question. Very important bit for the NEET and CET. NEET and CET exams. CET exams. And even though 1 mark question for important in the board exams. Important for the board exams. Now similarly, in our NCERT is not given actually this Bergman's rule, but sometimes in the NEET they will ask these also in the options. Options, 4 options they are given. In that Bergman's rule also, one of the rule they will ask. So that we can see here, Bergman's rule. Bergman's also one of the scientists. What he told is, body size is large in cold climates, small in warm climates. Large bodies have the smaller surface area to volume ratios. It means that whatever the animals are there in the cold climates, they have the large body. Whatever the animals are there in the hot climates, they have the small body. He is telling that the body of an organism is large, which are there in the cold climate. The body of an organism is small, which are there in the hot climate. So that smaller body surfaces having the more surface area than compared to their volumes, so that they will lose the more heat outside. That is the reason the hot climatic condition peoples are very narrow in size, but height is more narrow size. But if you see cold climatic peoples, that the body sizes are very large than compared to these peoples, but legs and ears if you see very small in size. If you see China peoples ears and legs, if you observe it, very small in size than compared to the Africa, because Africa peoples are extremely hot climatic conditions are there in Africa. If you see cold climatic conditions are observing in the China. That is the difference between these. This Bergman is telling the same thing. Polar bears are having the small ears and the body size is very large than compared to the normal hot climatic condition containing organisms like as pots, desert pots, if you observe it, comparing these two, body sizes are large in the cold climatic animals than compared to the hot climatic animals. Okay, fine. Now we can see next point you can observe it here. Aquatic mammals like seals, seal is a aquatic mammal, have thick layer of fat called as blubber below their skin that act as an insulator and reduces loss of body heat. We know very well about this. Seal organism, if you see, under the skin of seal organism, a thick fat layer is there. Yellow color thick fat layer is presented. That fat layer is act as a insulator. Insulator means it will not allow to enter outside conditions to inside conditions to outside. Okay, like that it act as a insulator. So that outside insulator. So that what happens is the conditions are not going to be exchanging. So that is the reason they will protect themselves from the extreme cold climatic conditions. Okay, this is also very important bit. Correct. Now we can see one more adaptation, that is adaptation of animals in high altitudinal places. High altitudinal places. Now if you see in the Siachen and Leh Ladakh, recently the war is started in the China and India. Now if you are observing now, the fighting is happened recently, the past 1 month back. If you have seen that, there the fighting is happening between the Indian army and China army. That place is Ladakh place. In the Ladakh place, altitudinal places, those are altitudinal, high altitudinal places. There we are noticing minus degrees Celsius temperature. There if you see the peoples, what they will face the problem there, how they are overcome such problems, we'll see now. When a person move to high altitudes, high altitude means from the ground level to means mountain regions, mountain places, develops altitudinal sickness. Altitudinal sickness. Altitudinal sickness means it is one kind of the problem. Altitudinal sickness problem they will get. And what happens here, you can see. Because why it is happens? Because in the low atmospheric pressure, wherever if you go to mountain region, there we are noticing low atmospheric pressure. Low atmospheric pressure as well as high altitude. Low atmospheric pressure we are seen in the high altitudes. The body does not get. So that what happens when the pressure is less, what happens is the body does not get enough oxygen. The body does not get enough oxygen. So that they will face the breathing problems. They will face the breathing problems and they will get the energy loss. So the symptoms we'll see now. Symptoms. What happens while getting the altitudinal sickness? What kind of symptoms develop in the person's body is, one symptom is nausea. Nausea means nothing but vomiting sensation. Vomiting sensation. When we move from ground floor to top floor, or for example 10 floors if you take, 10 floor apartment if you take, ground floor to if you move to the 10th floor, some members body is not adjusting in that environment. At the time what happens is vomiting may takes place, or vomiting sensation may occurs. Sometimes rotating of eyes may takes place. These all problems they will face. Here also some people are, those people are facing problems like nausea, that is vomiting sensation, as well as energy loss. Fatigue means energy loss, weakness, and as well as heart palpitations. Heart palpitations means nothing but brachycardia. Heart rate is going to be increasing as well as decreasing. These are heart rate is going to be fluctuating. Okay, these three problems they will face in that area. Then how they are going to be overcome such problems? How they are going to be overcome means slowly they will developing. It is also one of the physiological adaptation, so that the physiology of the person's body is going to be changing according to the environment. According to the environment, what happens? You can see here. The body compensates to overcome low oxygen availability. Compensate low oxygen availability by increase the red blood cells. Increase the red blood cells production. Increase the red blood cell production. So that the next point is decreases the binding capacity. Oxygen is going to be binding to hemoglobin and converting into oxyhemoglobin and transporting in the body cells. At the decreasing the binding capacity. Binding capacity of oxygen is going to be decreases to the hemoglobin. It is one thing. One more thing is increasing the red blood cells. When the red blood cells are increases, these red blood cells are carrying the more amount of oxygen by increasing the breathing rate. By increasing the breathing rate. One more time I will tell you that how they will overcome with the three reasons. One, the body undergoing three changes. Three physiological changes undergoes. First one is the increase the red blood cells production. Second one is the decreases the binding capacity to the binding capacity of hemoglobin. Third one is by increasing the breathing rate. By increasing the breathing rate. By using these three physiological changes, the person body again getting into normal situation. Clear? All members are understood? Okay. Note it down with all things in your notebook, or else you can take the screenshot completely. Okay. You can take the screenshot. Fine. Thank you. Okay. Till now we have discussed about the adaptations. In that 4 types of adaptations we have discussed. Means 4 examples we have discussed under the adaptation. This is the 5th example, that is behavioral adaptation. Behavioral adaptations. Behavioral adaptation we can see here. Desert lizards. Example is desert lizards deals with the high temperature of their habitat. Deals with the high temperature of their habitat by managing to keep their body temperature constant. Body temperature constant by behavioral adaptation. It means that desert lizard, in the name itself is there. The lizards which are there in the desert area, how they are going to be managing their heat climatic condition? Due to maintain the constant temperature in their body with the help of the behavioral adaptations. Based on the changing their behavior, they can maintain the constant body temperature in their body, so that they can adapt in the high temperature conditions. How they are managing we can see here. Desert lizard bask in the sun. When they will feel more cold outside, at that time they will come and basking, means exposing towards the sun to get the more amount of light. It means that to absorb the heat, then when their body temperature is drops below the comfort zone. It means that the body temperature is not helpful for their metabolisms. It means that completely decreases than the optimum level. At that time they will bask in the sunlight to increase their body heat. Okay, similarly, and move into the shade place when the ambient temperature starts increasing. Ambient temperature means surrounding temperature. When the surrounding temperature is going to be increases at that time their body heat already more is there. Then that the surrounding conditions are going to be increasing more and more temperature. At that time, to escape from that high heat conditions or high temperatures, they will come into the shade places. To maintain the optimum temperature. When the outside conditions are cold, they will come and exposed to the sunlight to absorb the light and increasing their body heat. When the outside conditions are very heat, at that time they will go to the shade places, they will decrease their body temperature. Finally, they will manage the constant body temperature. Now, some of the organisms, some of the species are in the desert lizards only, they have a capability of burrowing. Burrowing means we know very well. Polar bears we have seen in the case of the hibernation. In the case of estivation we have seen the snails. Okay, they are making the holes in the soil. They will enter into the holes. They will cover the soil in the top. They will sleep completely few years or few days until finishing that harsh habitat conditions. It means burrowing means making the holes in the soil. They will enter into the burrows into the soil to hide and to escape from the above ground heat. It means that outside temperature is increases more and more. High temperature is presented. At that time they will make holes in the soil. They will enter into the holes. They will cover with the soil that hole. Then obviously they can prevent the overheat problems. Outside overheat there also they can maintain the constant body temperature in their body. Clear? Right. Thank you.